let's see here. I'm trying to find. Okay, here it is. This is an old news article, an old news video. Now, this video's probably gotta be.
Old boy who went to school.
It's probably gotta be at least 10 to 15 years old. Okay, I don't know exactly when, but I don't care how old. So this is an old article, a video. I know probably a bunch of people have seen it, but I didn't until yesterday, and I wanted to share this with Mersh.
Blackface, as you see there, to give a speech on Martin Luther King Jr. The Colorado second grader dressed up as the civil rights leader, complete with black.
Isn't this like an old one? I feel like I've seen this story.
It's very
before.
old. It is.
Okay.
I'm saying it's very old.
Oh, okay.
Black paint on his face as part of a class history project, but the costume didn't go over well. His painted face.
I just wanted to show the stark difference between how when this happens versus 10 years ago versus how it would happen now. Okay. This is great.
Offended some students and a teacher, and he was sent home after refusing to wash it off.
They thought it was inappropriate and it would be disrespectful to black people. But I say that it's not.
No.
I like black people.
No.
He likes black people.
Name.
No, the name.
The name.
The name.
What was the
The
name?
name.
I didn't see it.
The name.
What was the name?
Attention this afternoon, an 8-year-old black-faced, as you see there, to give a speech on Martin Luther King Jr. The Colorado second grader dressed up as the civil rights
can't believe
leader,
it. I must have
complete
missed
with
this.
black paint on his face as part of a class history project. But the costume didn't go over well. His painted face offended some students and a teacher, and he was sent home after refusing to wash it off.
They thought it was inappropriate and it would be disrespectful to black people.
What's the matter?
Royce?
What's the matter? What's the matter?
His name is Sean King.
He's always wanted to be black.
I never seen this.
He's always wanted to be black.
Mersh, I watched this today on Daywave because that's how it came up, and I asked Frozen. We missed this completely, right?
I did until we watched this right now.
I saw it right. It's the
How did
first
we
thing
not
I
miss
saw.
this?
I mean, they only put his name there for like a millisecond, so it's weird. But I absolutely, like, immediately it was the first thing I saw.
Oh my God, dude!
Trump broke something, right?
This is hilarious.
Like something happened in 2016 that like pushed us into a different timeline, right? And it's just like something happened.
God, that's amazing.
Everything's broken.
This is amazing. Holy shit!
But I say that it's not. I like black people.
We know.
Sean King said that.
We know.
I don't want to be mean to them. It's just a costume. I don't want to insult anybody.
The school district spokesperson
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is just occurring to me now.
Sure.
There's no way a news crew went over to that school immediately when this incident happened, and they're telling the story in past tense. Did they make this kid dress back up in blackface to interview him? Right?
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. That makes sense. Yeah, they probably made him dress up in blackface again.
There's no way they just went right to the
You're
school.
right.
Oh my God, we
You're
got to get a
100
van there and interview this kid right away. So they said, could you put the costume back on? Which means that they asked the kid to put blackface on a second time.
Oh, this video gets better. Mersh, when I tell you...
It's the greatest video of all time.
Oh, no. You haven't even gotten to the best part yet. You're right. That's great, but it gets better. Frozen knows why.
comment on the face paint in terms of race relations, only saying that it violates the school's dress code. But his parents and some other adults are outraged, saying this was not an act of racism. The boy was just trying to get into character. What is your take on this? Was it wrong for the boy to wear black face paint for that school project? Do you feel it was racially insensitive?
And we are excited to be joined today by Dee Snyder.
What? What is going on?
Because you figure when you have a black face.
What is happening?
See, you figure when you have a black. This is not the Onion, by the way. I need to point that out. You figure when you have a blackface controversy, the person you need to have on is Dee Snyder.
Clearly, by the way, clearly a guy that was booked 6 months ago. Dee Snyder clearly booked some morning show appearance like a month or two in advance because he probably had a show in town. And this just happened to be the topic. And they're like, well, we also got Dee Snyder, so just stick him in on the blackface panel. So, Dee, where are you going to be playing tonight?
What have I told you?
I'll be at the Hammerstein Ballroom tonight. Tickets on sale.
It gets even more wild. So look at this panel of people.
Why is this happening?
Look at this panel of people. You might think that you know the opinions of all these people, but you don't.
Lead singer of Twisted Sister, thanks for being here. This second grader, second grade, is this malicious or is it perhaps ignorant on his parents' part?
So you turn to me because I used to wear full face of makeup. Okay, I got it.
By the way, Lee Min has photographic evidence of this makeup incident. Show links.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's not. Okay, this is what. Okay, come on. You can't. You can't do that. That's not funny.
Wow, how controversial.
Man, Dee Snyder, wow.
Yeah, based. Dee Snyder's fucking based.
So quickly to me, Jesus Christ.
I could hear the kid talking a little bit. He seems to be sincere, but I don't have a racist bone in my body, but I wouldn't put blackface on because it's just not acceptable. And his parents should know that. And a black person putting whiteface on, that's not acceptable either.
Like Michael Jackson?
White girls.
Sammy
the
Sosa?
Wayne's movies. The white girls.
So his parents should know better, and if the kid doesn't, it's up to the parents to do the right thing.
So maybe this opened up an important dialogue then in the community and at that school.
I promise.
Well, I mean, how many other schools do you think are dealing with this? Kids coming to school with blackface on. And it was a terrible costume. That's another thing.
I mean,
it didn't even look good. That Charlie Chaplin mustache he's got going on there. I thought he was a whole other character.
Well, you know, we certainly know blackface invokes so much pain
It's no pain. There's no pain being invoked. Let's relax.
on African Americans and us in the African American community.
But I will say that we really should get his parents both fired from their jobs and
course.
have this kid thrown out of school.
You know what? No, watch this.
You got to give the kid
Oh,
credit.
no, I was kidding. I know they're not going to say this because it's so long ago, but that's nowadays that's what you'd say.
Watch what the black reporter says.
African American community. But you got to give the kid credit. Dr. Martin Luther King, civil rights activist, leader, he was trying to do the speech. I get that. But he's second grade. I mean, I'm wondering if we're being overly sensitive.
Right? I mean, this was 10 years ago.
Can we go back?
Right?
Question.
Yeah.
Did she pass the test?
Well, now hold on. Let her finish because she says something else before we ask. Okay? Remember the other thing she's about to say.
As adults, by saying, you know, was this kid really stepping over the line here?
Well, there's another thing. Was it the kid's idea to do it, or did the parents come up with the idea to do it? He wrote a report on Martin Luther King. I wrote a report on Martin Luther King. I didn't do it in blackface. I
said the N-word a lot.
Yeah. I mean, a lot. I mean, that report had a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, he's in second grade. I know we live in an overly PC society.
You have no idea what's coming, D.
But I just think the parents
Oh,
should
you
just
sweet summer child.
You have no idea.
said, okay, we understand what you want to do, son, but I think maybe there's a better way to do this.
I wonder if that was his idea.
That's literally what Dee Snyder just said.
Yeah, but I was like wondering whose idea was
But
it.
he just said that.
Like, where does he get his ideas?
It just seems like something more the parent.
It seems a little adulty. Second grader putting on blackface.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't seem like, aha!
Well, if nothing else, it's certainly opening the dialogue and maybe getting some folks to think twice. Amanda Nash
Now, these are normal people sitting in their comments back then.
writes, ridiculous. This little boy did this out of respect, not hate. He wanted to be just like MLK. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
Ricky Lewis says, stop making something out of nothing.
Amanda Hurtado says he is just a kid learning in the way children enjoy to learn with his imagination.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
How did we get here?
So fast.
Like, so
It's
fast.
how fast.
Nation. He didn't know what he was doing was considered wrong decades ago.
And Fritz Lee says even
Like,
if
we've
only
lost like 20,000 feet of altitude in our society in the course of about 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, that's the equivalent of what's happened.
ones who face discrimination, not a bunch of white people in Arizona or Colorado for that matter. It is easy for a white person to write time to quit playing the race card because she is not suffering, and she has never suffered from racism.
Well,
Now watch what the black girl says to that.
I'm from the South, and that certainly was a big part of my culture, Confederate flags and such. But again, I think the sensitivity here just has to be that we need to step back and wonder, he's a second grader, and I don't know if we're being overly sensitive.
I'm waiting for this black chick to say heritage, not hate.
So now does she pass the merch test? Knowing everything you know about her mindset.
Well, not now. She's probably like
meant then.
50.
Let's just say now.
No, yeah,
Jesus Christ. Ew, bro, sorry, Miami MILF. He didn't even mean to make fun of you. Did you see that one? Ew. It's probably 50.
Yeah, you're a little old for me. I'm sorry. What do you want?
Miami MILF isn't old. She's biblical.
That's the question. And we debated this a long time in the newsroom today.
There are other
Sean
ways.
is adamantly opposed to this young man doing this, and is glad that the school stepped in.
All right.
All right. Well, next on ABC 15 now. Earlier this
Okay, so anyway.
That was a...
Really crazy, right?
That was a wild ride.
Isn't it crazy to see how that went? Like, I know this is old. I know a bunch of people have seen this, I'm sure. It's kind of weird, though, because it was uploaded May 18th, 2012, and it only has 16,000 views, so that's not a lot, right? Had any other people seen this? I'm sure. I feel like this had to be huge, right?